Okay. There's been a question about the requirement to become a standard center. You know, we have two types of centers, the standard and the comprehensive. What we're beginning with is that standard center that's in the that's in our plan. It says, is the requirement to become a standard center merely to submit the application, or do applications have to be approved in order for a center to achieve the standard center designation? That begins, the process begins when the application is submitted. Centers are able to describe how their center is meeting federal requirements, and that they are compliant with the federal requirements. And one of those federal requirements, of course, is that they be a licensed center. So submitting the application, and if you're not a licensed center, of course, that would disqualify someone from receiving child care certificates. Any kind of approval or denial on the application will be done by the Department of Human Services, but nobody else has that authority. That is strictly DHS's responsibility. If the center's application is insufficient in some way, will the center be allowed to continue to participate while the application is being repaired, or whatever you want to call it, or being updated? There are certain things that are required to be compliant, but if the center is not meeting those, then they would not be allowed to receive the certificates. Another question has been, is it possible for a licensed center to lose eligibility for the certificates before they are provided technical assistance? And then under what specific circumstances, if any, could a licensed child care center lose the eligibility? Of course, we've got to make sure that child care providers meet those federal requirements. If a child care provider has an employee there that has not met mental health and safety requirements, that center should not be receiving child care certificates. And that was just an example there. Does a child care center have an opportunity to amend any errors they made in the application after submission? And then it says applicants will have 30 days to complete the standard center application, and they will not be able to edit the application once it's submitted or once the 30-day period has passed. Will centers that currently hold a valid child care license lose their eligibility if they decline technical assistance based on their application responses? And if yes, will an exception be granted for a center that indicates it will meet the requirements on its own? If yes, will the Early Childhood Academy determine if those requirements are met? Participating in technical assistance is voluntary. It's voluntary. It's not a requirement that you receive technical assistance for anybody. We want to have technical assistance available to everybody that needs it and wants to take advantage of that. You know, what our federal people are looking at is increasing the quality. We want to make sure we have some of the best quality child care centers in the nation. And to do that, we have got to make sure that we're meeting those federal requirements and that we're doing everything that we can to help y'all meet those, to do anything on the technical assistance that will help y'all get to where you need to be as a licensed child care facility. Does the Early Childhood Academy determine when or if additional requirements beyond licensing are met during or at the end of the 6-month corrective action period? DHS again has that authority to make those decisions. Will the Early Childhood Academy conduct ongoing monitoring of the standard centers for requirements beyond licensing after the 6-month corrective action period? They will provide technical assistance and professional development. They do not monitor the child care centers. What is the procedure for appealing decisions about CCPP eligibility based on the assessment of the center's application and or on the assessment of the program fulfilling the corrective action plan? The 6-month corrective action plan refers to child care centers with a comprehensive designation, not the standard that we're starting out with. It would be comprehensive. And the procedure for appealing all child care decisions would be according to the current DHS policy. And the process for conflict resolution regarding technical assistance between child care centers and early childhood academies, again, that would be tended to through the Department of Human Services. The reimbursement rate. We have gone again. This is a problem that we've had because of some of the processes that we've had to go through to get to the actual reimbursement rate. As y'all know, we did the market rate survey last year. We did an updated survey with the approval of our Atlanta office to try to get more input because we had limited input in the initial market rate survey. We wanted to make sure that everybody had ample opportunity to put in an opinion and put in their how they thought that it ought to work. That hopefully I keep saying that hopefully, like I said, when we had the change in our policy, we have to have some information to see what we're spending on quality. The state is required to spend a certain amount on quality in the child care program, and that amount increases over the next several years. So we have got to determine the amount that's actually spent on the quality, and the rates are a portion of that. So hopefully our plan right now is to have something in place by September of this year, where the rates will be hopefully issued later in the year, and hopefully have that in place under the new system. There's that process is something that we're part of the time our hands have been tied on it, being able to move forward with that, but it's something that we didn't have control over, and some processes that we had to go through to get to those. I talked a little bit about CCAG and the advisory council when I was in my initial thing. The plan that was developed again was CCAG along with the Department of Human Services, and that's what our recommendations from all the committees, the CCAG committees, the CCAG members, and the Department of Human Services are now operating under the unified plan. That was a group, that was an effort between all of these entities. The CCAG or DHS make decisions in the program. Is it shared? Please how to describe this, how this is shared. DHS makes all the decisions as far as the child care payment program. CCAG is an advisory board. And of course, with CCAG being an advisory board, with them having, with that group having mental health and the Department of Education and Head Start, we of course take any recommendation from them very seriously, and we will certainly implement those processes if it's a benefit to the child care children and child care providers. Okay. Are we currently under any corrective action? I mentioned about we did not get every person that was coming in contact with children at child care centers last year, as of August the 30th, I believe. If they were not, if they had not attended a health and safety training, we had to submit to our Atlanta people that every person in the child care centers had not done that. So we are under corrective action with that. We're under corrective action on our redetermination. We have started on the redeterminations, started in February. What we're doing is we try to make some contact with, as I said earlier, we try to make contact with the parents. We pull a group of redeterminations and handle those redeterminations, and so they're coming out in big chunks, and we hope to have that completed. How many more do we have? By the end of September. we hope to have all of those groups of parents completed by that time. There's a number of them that we're, this is our second pool, I believe, and so we're moving forward with pulling those groups of parents for the return. All right, I'm going to turn it over now to Arissa from NSPARK, and she's going to kind of give you a brief overview of the standard application.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arissa Coley, and I'm from NSPARK, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Standard Center application. Before I begin, one thing that I do want to point out is that this application is not final. MDHS is still in the development phases of this application. As Ms. Sykes mentioned, MDHS has been steadily working with child care providers through the development of this process to collect their input. So everything that you're seeing here is just where we are in the development, but we did want to give you a sense of what the application looks like. So before we begin, there's a couple things that I want to point out about the application, kind of tied back to the overview video that you watched. So if you remember in the video, there are 3 basic federal requirements that all child care providers need to assure that they're doing in order to be compliant with the feds. The first is that they are all implementing some type of health and safety standards. So in Mississippi, centers can demonstrate this compliance by being licensed because the licensing standards in this state are aligned with federal requirements, so you can check that box. The second thing is that all staff within a child care center have to be trained on the federally mandated health and safety topics. So this application will allow you to demonstrate that the staff within your center are compliant with that requirement. And the third is that the state must assure that centers receiving vouchers are implementing the state's early learning guidelines and standards. And so through this application, you will also be able to demonstrate the type of learning activities that you're involved in your centers and demonstrate how they're aligned with the early learning guidelines and standards. So as you're working with child care providers through the development of this application, one thing that they really wanted to make sure was that the online application was as user-friendly as possible. And so Candace went over this earlier, but the application is designed to be very point and click friendly. So there are very few, with the exception of 1 or 2 sections, most of it is just you moving your mouse and clicking on an option. You don't have to do a whole lot of writing. The second thing is that you can save and exit at any point in the application so that you can move through it at your own pace. We know that the application is lengthy because you're collecting a lot of information. We're trying to put you in the driver's seat so that you can move at your own pace through the application. And then the next thing is it ties into any existing information that MDHS currently has on hand. So for example, information about your center, your address, things like that that MDHS already has on record will be pre-populated in the application so you don't have to keep going through this process over and over again. So the very first section is related to a center's licensing information. So here I have a base center that we created just for this demo. It has some information about the center, like their provider ID and their license number, some information about the owner and the director. This is an example of information that would already be pulled from whatever MDHS already has on file. So for this section, you would just need to review it, make sure the information is correct, and if there's anything that needs to be changed, you get an opportunity to edit it. If not, you can just move on to the next section. As you go through the application, you can move through it in 2 different ways. You can just click confirm or save and next, and it'll move you through the application just section by section, or you can use this little navigation panel on the side and jump to whichever section you want to. So it's completely up to you how you complete this application. The second section collects information about staff within your center who have completed the health and safety training. So this is again an example of information being pulled into the application based on what's already on file from MDHS. So within your center, you would see a list of all of the staff in your center who have already completed the training and have been marked as completed by the Department of Human Services. And any staff that haven't completed the training would be listed here under this non-compliant staff. So what you would be asked to do for the non-compliant staff is simply indicate the reason why the staff has not been able to attend the training. So maybe they're a new hire within 3 months, so they haven't been required to attend the training yet. They couldn't attend a previous training, or they might be registered for the next available training. If there's anything else, like maybe the staff actually did attend the training, but you don't see them there, you can select other, and then you as a director would have the opportunity to enter in that reason. And this allows NDHS to know whether or not some type of action needs to be taken, or if they need to work with your center to assist you in getting your staff to a health and safety training. Okay, the next section collects information about your center's curriculum. One thing I do want to point out is this application is very adaptive, so information you input into one section will help guide you through the process of what types of questions you need to answer, and I'll give you an example. So the very first thing you're asked to do is to describe how many classrooms are in your center under each of the following age groups. So if you indicate that you have one infant classroom, then you'll be asked to answer questions later in the application about infants. If you indicate that you have a preschool classroom, then you'd be asked about instructional activities that you engage in with your 3- and 4-year-olds. So you won't be required to answer any questions that aren't related to your center. So if you will serve infant and toddlers, the first thing that you'll be asked to do is to describe the type of curriculum that's used in your infant and toddler classrooms. One thing I want to note is that there is no requirement for a specific type of curriculum in your child care center. We know that some of you all use a published curriculum that you purchase. Some of you develop one on your own in your own center. It's really completely up to you. There's no right or wrong answer in this regard. So the only thing that you'll be asked to do here is just to describe the type of curriculum that you use. If you use a published curriculum, you'll be asked to describe the type of curriculum package that you use.
My question is, I've been to probably 2 different sessions. The Mississippi State Department of Health and now DHS. If you have a conflict and the Department of Health say one thing and a conflict with the DHS, who overruled?
You had 2 trainings with who now?
Mississippi State Department of Health and now DHS. So, you know, when there's a conflict, who's going to be the ruling body?
Well, it depends on what the conflict is. If it's regarding the health and safety training, we would overrule because we have that requirement.
Yeah, but who issued the license?
The health department issues the license. But they do not, the license and the health and safety training are two different things.
All over the country, the #1 thing in dealing with child care is safety.
Yes, sir.
It's all over the nation, so, and the health department deal with that specifically. And it's not, that's just not only the one thing that you're dealing with, you're dealing with other issues that might conflict. So it needs to be under one heading. And then all of the rules need to be the same.
Thank you.
My question is around health and safety. Is myself and all my employees went to PRCC and did the health and safety. Now, if I have a new hire coming on now, how would that affect?
Okay, that training will be available.
We have turnovers all the time.
Yes, ma'am, and that training will be available in September.
But I'm asking you,
And they have,
the question I want to know, We have already had the health and safety at the junior college PRCC. So, is my child care center eligible right now? And if I hire somebody 2 months later on down the line, will you tell me I'm not qualified?
The new employees have 90 days to have the health and safety training.
So this is gonna be a continuation 30, 40 years down the line? It's a never-ending process?
Yes, ma'am.
Like a never-ending process. If I qualify right now, and then the new employees haven't had it, I lose my benefits? If I got 60 days or 90 days or whatever to keep my benefits?
Your new employee has 90 days to get the health and safety training. If they don't have it within those 90 days, yes ma'am, you could lose your spouse.
Okay, so we better not hire nobody.
I have questions about the privacy of our staff. And I'm asking, have you all looked at the Privacy Act for some of the things that you are required? And you all are aware, I'm very concerned about the Social Security. I'm concerned about asking about information about your liability insurance and your staff's information. We have to ask the staff permission for a lot of that stuff. And it jeopardizes us if we're required to do some of these things as a reason for discontinuing of participating in the certificate program. And I was told that the Social Security number was to do the background check. But the health department does that. They do that, then the FBI is responsible. So I'm just trying to see if you all have actually looked at some of the things in the Privacy Act, because there's so many things in what you're doing that's in violation.
Yes ma'am, we're looking at all of that.
Hey there. With the training classes, are they always going to be held just on like a weekend? I have she has a religious thing and they celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday. So she will not attend any training on a Saturday. So I'm trying to figure out how to get around that small little thing. I don't know if y'all going to do one on like the weeknight, or if y'all do, or they're just going to be held on Saturday. How y'all thought about that?
We had, when we did the trainings last fall, we had them on Saturday because a number of the child care providers asked that we do it on Saturday because of the staff being gone during the week. We did offer a class on Friday to try to get everybody attended to during that period of time that we had to do that. We will make that known to the Child Care Academy to make sure that they take that into consideration.
Yeah, I'm right outside of the room. But, because I can send her during the week, it doesn't matter, but she will not go.
Right, I understand. And the academy, we're looking also, they're looking also at online options, so that could be an option later on down the line.
And if we're not in compliance, until y'all offer those things with her, I would still be okay. Or I'm just wondering, because that's her religious belief, and I don't think it was me.
Right.
Because I violate her religious belief.
Is she a new employee or is she
No,
not?
ma'am. She's been there 10 years.
Okay, why did she not get the training last fall?
She was at a conference in Minnesota, so she was not even in town. So that one time, and then I contacted y'all, and they said y'all would do another one. And when I sent her, well, I didn't send her anywhere, but then
we kind of got lost in it because we were sent to a training that we had already been approved, we had already said that we were going in there, we got turned away at the door because they were out of fire code in that building. So we had to leave. So I'm just wondering, I just want to know because I'm not going to fire everything. I'm violating every 3 months. I'm just wondering, if you're not going to, if you don't offer it, 9 months version.
All the child care staff is supposed to be trained by June 30th. So, unless they're new staff.
Well, y'all need to do those training a little more often than every 3 months.
No.
You go in just once a month, I'm sorry. You can't keep employees at all.
But the new employees have 3 months to have that training. So, ma'am,
Y'all got to do more often than that. Days y'all do it, we may get the notification 1 week, and y'all do it on the next. We can't always be there on those days.
now they ain't have quality.
Go ahead with your question.
Yes, we'll take that as a.
We have to pay them for that.
Other than the Childhood Academy or through another institute.
No, ma'am, not at this time. We'll make a note of that as well.
My question kind of goes along with what everybody else is saying. The trainings that were offered in our area, we didn't know about until like the week of, and they were on Saturdays. And I have single parents who have children, and we couldn't make arrangements in 4 or 5 days for their children for them to be there.
Are you thinking of the most recent training?
Yes, the last 2. So my question is, if they're only offered every quarter and the new employee has 90 days, basically when you hire somebody, they're going to have 1 shot to get this training, and then if not, you're out. Is that my understanding?
The child care or minimum wage job, they don't stay very often.
My question is probably along the same.
Well, we need to be concerned. I'm very much concerned about family, daycare, and nurturing homes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, we will take your comment and look into that.
My question is about the Early Childhood Academy. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Will that be the source for trainings? Previously we would get information on trainings and where they would be held. Will that be one of their responsibilities?
Yes, ma'am. They will be responsible for providing the professional development and technical assistance to you all.
So would September be a approximate start date for when we would start to get that information again?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, that is planned.
Okay, and then one other comment. When I was trying to get information on completing the registration for the health and safety training, and then to get some additional questions answered, the phone number that was provided was the same phone number that you called in for child care. And so I attempted to do both the numbers, and when you call and they answer that phone, of course they tell you they don't know anything about what you're talking about. They can't tell you anything about the schedule. They couldn't tell or nothing about the class. No idea why their phone number is on there. So we need a phone number that actually gets you to someone that can answer your question about enrolling. Because like the lady was saying about the address, one saying Copiah Lincoln, because there's a Copiah Lincoln in Wesson, but then I think there's a campus in Natchez. So I couldn't get that clarification at that point. And you were under the time gun, so you were trying to get it done, but no phone number. And then I researched the internet, and I couldn't find a phone number, even looking up health and safety. So it'd be helpful if it were a little bit more user-friendly.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since the EYN has folded now, we're not really getting any free classes anymore. Is there not any way, since we're all required to attend this health and safety, that we can get CEUs for this?
That has actually been proposed, and we are working with the health department on that.
Good, thank you.
When a parent is on TANF, of course the child care is paid for, then we give them a number of months as transitional child care. That is to get them to the point where they hopefully can manage the child care by themselves. I know that there are people that make enough. I'm sorry. I know there are people that don't make enough to pay for child care. What happens yes, ma'am. What happens at that time is they do go on to the waiting list, and I know sometimes it affects their employment if they can't pay the child care.
Been on for like 3 years. On the waiting list for like 3 years.
You know what we're looking at now, and we're not sure exactly what the increase in rates is going to, how it's going to affect our money. We're not sure of how adding additional quality dollars is going to affect our money. So as soon as we can get the rates established and everything, we can see how many people we're going to be able to serve. But right now we really don't have that number, and we're not sure that we're going to be able to pull any off of the waiting list at this time or not. And that's, you know, we're operating, we're trying to operate in the money that we have. Increasing the rates, of course, is going to affect that bottom line on how many children we can serve. So that's kind of the dilemma that we're in right now, to try to continue to serve what we're serving right now, and then knowing what, at some point, knowing exactly how much money we've got and seeing what we can serve. I know it is.
They're falling back in the system because they can't afford to pay.
Yes, ma'am. I know that's an issue, and that's, you know, everybody in the state is aware that transportation and child care is two of the biggest barriers to employment, and everybody also knows the limits that we have with transportation, the limits we have with the child care, and we're trying to look the best way to deal with that. And we know that that's a problem.
Hello, my name is Anita, and my question that I would like to pose to you today, can you guys hear me? Yeah. And the question that I would like to pose to you today is concerning effective communication. Across the room, I've heard several people saying, hey, we're not getting effective communication. I heard you say, we'll handle it. I would like to know, how would they really know that you heard them, and also, you know, get the answer back to them, and actually maybe set dates like, okay, we're planning to make these changes, and we plan to make these updates. Because to me, it sounds like a lot of people say, you know, we're going around in circles, we're not getting what we need. So we got to understand that if it wasn't children in the state of Mississippi, we wouldn't need the Department of Human Services. So we are serving, you know, people need to be served. And secondly, I heard you say something about the CCAT, and you said there was different departments on there. I would like to know, do you have child care providers on that board? And also, do you have parents that can also serve on the board? Because if you make a decision for people in child care and parents, I think those individuals need to be on the board so effective policies can be made to serve the individuals.
CCAC does have providers on the board. Anybody can attend the CCAC meeting and make comments. I know, like I said to begin with, I know I recognize some of y'all that regularly go to CCAC meetings and regularly make comments, and we appreciate that. As I said, the childhood academies have been set up as of January 1. They started hiring. The communication has not been the best with that because they had not been set up. They've gotten everybody hired, and they've gotten some of the additional community colleges to participate in this academy, and we're working towards getting a better communication system. Anything that goes on we should be sending out something. We started back up on the newsletter that I hope all of y'all are getting and reading. And if y'all have anything that you want to put in the newsletter, you know, you can let us know that. But I'm hoping as the Childhood Academy moves forward that they will have a better communication with the field. And like I said, they are just getting set up, and this is new to them, and it's a process that's in process.
But I just want to make one more statement. It seems like, you know, child care has been an issue in Mississippi for a long time. And it seemed like to me, you know, I have a master's degree, and I just feel like it's not rocket science to, you know, by doing the right thing for these kids and for these providers. I mean, because it's frustrating. And I would like to know, when is it planned to be fixed? When it's going to be operational so it can be fully effective for the people that are being served in this room today?
Okay. We started, you know, we got the new federal regulations that we're required as a state to get the federal child care money. We're required to put things in place to operate the child care program, to get the money and operate the child care program. We started that process last year. The health and safety training was something critical that we had to get done quickly because of the time frame that we had to have that, or we're supposed to have that done. Anytime that we don't meet a requirement, we have to ask for an extension. We've got that going right now. We're asking for an extension on the background check. You know, there's some additional requirements on the background checks. So we're, and any change that we made, I mentioned earlier about the policy change. Any policy change that we make has to go through that process of the days with the Secretary of State's office. So we are in the process of implementing the new changes in the required federal regulations. The standard application is part of that process. The implementation of the new rates is part of that process. So we are moving forward with it, although we have had some setbacks because of some of the things that we had to do as far as the public hearing, which is a law and it's a requirement that we do. It's some things that we don't have any control over. So we're moving forward. Hopefully, like I said earlier, hopefully the rates will be in place new rates will be in place by September. The Childhood Academies is a part of all of this. They're getting in place. So things are moving, and I know it's frustrating for y'all because it so affects y'all. But things are moving forward.
My concern is with the health and safety. The thing is, you got one place for 4 counties, and the time we went, I took 9 of my staff members. They was out of scantrons. They didn't have enough seating. So, you know, that affects the owner of the center, because guess who's paying for that bill? The owner of the center. Seems like everything is on the centers and nothing is on the state.
When did you go?
It was when it first came out.
Okay.
We went to Southwest. They didn't even have enough seating, didn't have enough scantron. Nobody knew what was going on. They just basically said, we here because we have to do it. Look like to me is that they need to be trained before they try to come back and introduce it to us. See, that's the problem we're running into.
Did y'all register for the...
Yes, we registered. Okay. Everybody that was registered, but there wasn't enough seating. Nobody knew what was going on. They ran out of scantrons. They basically said, we'll mail your scantrons to you, but we've never seen scantrons. We've called, we've asked, but nobody knows. We just lost in the system. And that's... And I think everybody here has one of those horror stories.
Yeah, we realized that there were some issues with some of the training last fall. Again, that was a requirement that we had to meet, and we had to meet it quickly. The people were trained. I'm not sure who you talked to, but the people were trained.
I think y'all need to come out and audit them. Instead of just letting them come on set, y'all need to pop in on and see what's going on. They're not doing a good job.
Thank you. Okay, does somebody have a question? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have a problem with TANF and transitional child care. the way I understand it, a person who receives TANF, that person has to go through the training for employment. And once that person has completed the training, and then they are put out there to find jobs. Jobs are not always available for them. It's hard to find jobs in town. And because that person has gotten the training and has now found employment, and then, of course, naturally, they can't afford child care. But in order for them to find employment, they have to have somewhere that they can place those children in order for them to do that. But that costs money that they don't pay. And I think that needs to be addressed.
Okay, anybody in TANF, they are required to either be employed or be in some type of training for employment, or be in a community service site, which would be like working even at like a DHS office. We have different sites in the counties where people they have to meet a certain number of hours, and again, that's a federal requirement.
But that only lasts for a length of time.
Well, any placement will last for a length of time. I think we have TANF clients that work in child care in our state office.
But we don't.
We work in our county office. But the TANF clients that are participating are participating in the TANF program and are meeting those requirements receive child care.
For a length of time. When it ends, then where do they go? What happens then when they don't find employment? Okay, they go from welfare to workfare. But what if they cannot find work?
We continue, as long as they are participating satisfactorily, we either have them in some type of training, in some type of work requirement that meets their participation, which could be, like I said, a placement in a courthouse, a DHS office, somewhere that they can work those hours to get that experience that they can use on the resume. We should not be cutting them off.
But they are being cut out. And then, I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me get back to from welfare to workfare. Okay, they apply for the program, the certificate program, and then being told that they have no funds now. Funds aren't available. What happens to the money when the children are taken off the program? That money being put back into the program for other children?
Who has told somebody that they didn't have any TANF funds?
No.
Yeah, they're being told.
What's the TANF funds?
They're being told that.
They are working now, so they can apply for the program. Okay, the certificate program. But they don't have money to fund the certificates. For those children they've taken off the program, what happens to that money? Where does that money go for those children when they're being terminated for the programs? Where is it being put?
Well, you've got, I'm not sure exactly, I'm not sure I understand your question. Any TANF child that's receiving, any child that's receiving TANF, there's money for a child care certificate. For TANF children.
Okay, all right. We're not talking about TANF now.
Okay,
if they go working
parents
who need certificates and can't get them because they've been told you're on the waiting list and put you on the waiting list.
Right.
They've been on the waiting list 1, 2 years and still have not been.
We are, that's what I answered earlier, we are serving as many children as we can serve with the money that we have. And we're looking at increasing the rates, and at the point that we increase the rates, to see how it's going to affect our budget, then we will look to see if we can add additional children.
So, the money from those children who have been terminated from the program, that money has been put back into the program to put more children on the certificate program.
Yes. Yes. The money is there. It's not going. The child care money is child care money. We cannot use it for anything else other than child care.
Not administration, but child care.
We use it for, well, it's used for administration as well as child care.
Hi, I just wanted to get clarification. We said we're working on getting to get the contact hours for the health and safety training.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's my concern, the communication, because apparently we don't know what's going on because nobody else knows what's going on. I have an email saying that my center qualifies for 4 hours of training from the health and safety training that we went to already. So what do you mean we're working on it? It's already approved.
She was talking, I thought she was talking about using the application to get the hours. What was the question a while ago? I may have misunderstood.
About contact hours with the staff development hours for the training.
You do currently get 4. I may have misunderstood the question earlier. You get 4 hours for attending the health and safety training. That's correct. Do what now? You should have a letter saying that.
They just said it May 26th.
I was told that you had to put it in writing. I didn't put it in writing.
Letters went out May the 26th for the people that had attended the training to the director of the center.
When you were talking about CEUs being perhaps being available, and what's under discussion is for the completion of the application.
Right.
Okay. So I think there was 2 different. I
may have misunderstood the question when you asked.
I think the question earlier was, would those be available for the health and safety training? But it seems like, and so those are.
Health and I thought we had sent out something earlier that said health and safety training would give you the 4 hours of the hours that you need for the health department.
But the problem with that is that I keep walking right in front of the camera. And now it's May 2017, and my license was renewed every December. I can't use those hours because they're looking at me for the contact hours for 2017. So even though I got that letter that you're talking about, and it gave me credit for my people attending, I can't use them because they've expired.
Okay.
So the problem with that too is that if I come to training in October, I need my certificate either while I'm there, I need to walk out the door with it, or you need to have it to me in a timely manner so that I can use it. But the State Department of Health, when she comes and look at my center this month, next month, I can't use those. They've expired.
Okay, our problem last fall with the health and safety training, if we had sent out the letters last fall, we would have, that if we had gone ahead and said that, okay, y'all are done, you didn't attend, we would have cut off how many centers? About half of the centers would have been disqualified for not. Okay. Okay, that's why we didn't send the contact hours last year, because we would have had to cut off so many centers.
So we got to. I don't understand why.
May 26th, letters went out showing that the people that we had showing that got the health and safety training got the letter saying here's the people that we're showing attending.
Well, we went to that training.
Okay.
We asked them to do contact hours, and they told us no. But then you had centers calling in challenging that, and I guess that's why they.
We had sent out something last year giving people 4 hours credit for the training. If the health department has made the visits to the.
No, I got mine 2 weeks ago. Now it's the original training.
Okay.
You need to check on that because that's not accurate what you're saying. I'm not, but that's not accurate. Okay. We know better. That's not
the letters went out, that notices went out that you would get the hours.
Right. Yeah.
You're saying you didn't get anything?
I got the letter telling me listing all my employees that attended. And it told me that they received 4 hours of contact.
Okay.
But it had expired already. It serves me no purpose now because I did not get it.
She got to pay again.
It does not help me to get it 6 or 8 months.
Okay. All right. We're working with the health department on that, on the issue of the on that issue. We're working with them on that. Okay. Okay. And if you need something, you need to call that number that obviously nobody can get that from.
We have a question over here. Make sure y'all.
Hold on, waiting before her. Sorry.
I wanted to, I had a couple of things that I was listening to. I wanted to ask this question. I remember when Mississippi Planning Development was doing the redetermination and what have you for you all. And at the time that when y'all canceled that contract, you all said that the contract, well, what I saw, or maybe I misunderstood when you all did it, that you was doing that to save money to give to the children. Now you hired another group. I don't understand that. I'm lost about that one.
Are you talking about the planning and development districts?
Yes, they was kind of, and you said that when the HS said, or the state said, they didn't have money, and they canceled their contract. After they renewed their contract, well, I understand that's a whole other story. But I was under the impression that when you all did that, some time ago, you all could afford, or you was trying to find funds to fund the children. Now, you're saying you hired another group to do just what they were doing. Don't make sense.
Wait, now, what group are you saying you're hiring?
Whatever group you're hiring. You just said a group that y'all are hiring new people to do whatever, some department, a group that y'all created. Early Childhood Academy that y'all are creating, hiring people that Mississippi Planning Development sounds to me could have continued to do, even though they had their issues. We knew, and they would do the determination. We also, at the time, when they did the TANF thing, they would immediately, when a child, a parent would come off the TANF, they immediately transfer them over into the new certificate. Now, what I don't understand is, if you got money to add student children, why you just can't transfer? Instead of hurting the parent and putting them on a back list. Because it ain't in the front, because when you take a child off a certificate, TANF, you put it behind everybody else that is already applying for it. That parent now has to go back. Well, I don't know how some of you all feel, but in my case, a parent would say to me, well, I just stopped working. I can do better not working because I can't afford to pay child care. And since I can't afford to pay child care, I go back on the system. So how are you helping them? How they're being helped? It's impossible. I just don't get it. You got rid of this Planning Development, said for more money. They just needed more money to take care of the parents. Now you tell them another group, and then we don't even give the children that's on TANF, the parents that's on TANF, the opportunity to remain on the program so they can take care of their families. Because these parents are going back into the system, one way or the other.
Okay.
So I don't understand that.
Okay. The planning and development districts, I believe that was done in 2011 or 2012. And that was, I can't address 2012. That was way before any of our times, I think, as far as dealing with child care. After that period of time, of course, the eligibility part of child care has always been in the MDHS state office. We have not hired anyone to do eligibility since 2012 when it was brought back from the planning and development district, which, like I said, none of us that are here had anything to do with that. The technical assistance, which is a quality requirement from our federal people, we had canceled we had ended the contract with Mississippi State with the Early Years Network because of the cost of those certificates. I mean, because of the cost of those, the technical assistance that they were charging. We have contracted with the community colleges to do technical assistance, which has nothing to do with the eligibility for the children to receive certificates. So that's where we are right now, is trying to get these certificates. And let me add too, that the TANF people, at another requirement that's costing us extra money, is we have extended, used to when a TANF client was receiving TANF, and they got it for 3 months and something happened that they asked for their case to be closed, or their case was closed for whatever reason, that certificate ended. One of the federal requirements was that we extend that certificate, that they have to receive 12 months. That's costing us additional dollars, because at the time that, back prior to last
just lost me.
All right, let me go back. Where did I lose you?
Okay.
Let me finish up on this 12 months.
Okay.
Yes. One of the requirements of the federal regulations was that we give people 12 months. One of the providers' problems was people going on and off and on and off, and them not knowing how many people they were going to have from May 31st to June the 1st.
They were getting so many sanctions.
Ma'am?
They were sanctioned.
Well, it could be
everything.
It could have been a sanction or whatever.
Some of those sanctions. Now I've been in child care a long time, and I've seen people almost sanctioned for not walking in the door at a certain time. They sanctioned them for, and you know.
Okay. Well, whatever.
And that was a means of cutting folks off.
Whatever the reason was that the TANF
ended. And it was unfair.
I'm sorry. Whatever reason the TANF ended, the TANF child care ended at that time. If it was a month after we'd approved them and a month after they came to the provider, the child care was cut off. We're now, if we approve the child care or the TANF for this month and it closes for next month, they're still getting 11 more months. And not working. They're still getting 11 more months.
Can I ask a question? I'm going to this man's question about attending the training and not getting his scantron. Now, did we not all have to sign in?
Yes.
Okay, so will you go to those sign-in sheets to verify that he was there? I'm asking, since he lost, he did not get scantron. So he said he took the training. Will you all go to the sign-in sheet to assure that they were there and give them credit for the training?
You said you did not complete a scantron, but you
I
completed
did,
it.
but a lot of people there didn't get a scantron. It was a total disaster. And everybody that was on the process that registered.
Where did you say this was?
Southwest serves all the time. Walked all the way from Pikes to Utah.
Excuse me.
Everybody trying to get that one training. It's a disaster.
Yeah, well, the training, and I knew that toward the end of the trainings last year, because of a lot of people didn't attend when they registered the early part, they came to the later part, which overextended us, and we did have some problems at the end of some of those trainings.
Okay, the short question is, can you or somebody, if you can't do it, her question is not answered. Can you go back and look at this sheet where he signed in, he attended, but his staff was denied? Can they get credit? That is the question, yes or no?
If he did not have a scantron, the answer is no.
Okay, thank you.
Quick question.
No one, if you hire a new hire and they come from another center and they completed the training at the center that they were at last year, is that good for your center?
Yes.
Okay, so they don't have to do but one training. Okay.
At one time they have to do it.
Good. Praise the Lord. Okay. Another one is with the R&R trainings that are gone, the free trainings that we did have, will anyone else offer any of that? Because I mean, like my license goes out tomorrow, so I've been trying to find different places for my staff to go into, like we have the toddlers or preschool, specific things. Will there be trainings offered for us, or are we on our own? Do we have to handle ourselves?
The childhood academies are setting up some trainings, and those will be, y'all be notified about those as those get set.
Okay. All right. Couple things. I'm going back to the town workers. Is there any way we can put on the paper there that child care licensed person is asking, can we get our town workers back to help us in our business instead of letting them go all around everywhere? Because when they work with us, they got a training with us, or sometimes they was hired. a lot of them was hired, and we were able to afford them because of, you know, what they already used to get. And we could keep them there. And I think they'll be in compliance with you guys if we can keep them there.
At this time, we're not allowing that, and it's due to, the agency felt like that to be in a facility where they were possibly not, well, they were not required to have a background check. And we felt like,
but we do that now. I mean, that's mandatory now. They have to have it now.
Some of the facilities were not, because of the hours that the county client was working, they were not requiring a background check. So that is ours.
Okay, but now everything's gonna change. So can we still put it back on the list? That we doing about background checks now. So everything's gonna change.
At this time, no ma'am, we're writing it down. But at this time, that's not an option.
Okay then. Let me try something else. Okay, now, this one right here. All right. Okay, we don't have enough money for vouchers. So that's what we're hearing today. We don't have enough money for vouchers. Okay? So that means we're not going to get no money. Yeah. Okay?
Okay, we don't have enough money right now to add, or we don't know what money we have right now to add any children that are on the waiting list to a voucher.
Of course.
We have TANF money and we have transitional child care money. We have money to provide services for those priority populations.
Hey, question. Could you answer why did the governor send our money back? You know that we had billions of dollars. And Governor Bryan didn't accept this money. He sent it back.
Are you talking child care money?
Yeah.
When? I'm not aware that
yeah, 2 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
There could be TANF money, anybody money.
No, ma'am.
If it was TANF money, then they need to border it on out. Let the children get their money.
No, ma'am. We have not sent back any TANF money.
Okay, didn't send no money back.
No, ma'am.
Y'all ain't send no money back. Okay, the next one is about the CDA requirements. Are we doing anything about that? The CDA for the child care facilities.
Yes.
Okay, hold up. I'm asking the panel now. Let me ask the panel.
That is through the health department.
Through the health department?
Yes, ma'am.
What do the health department got to do with education?
Are you talking about the director? What are you talking
I'm talking about the CDA training.
The director credentialing?
Yeah.
Okay. That is not a requirement for anything as far as the standard or comprehensive centers are concerned.
It would not be no time soon. Because I'm hearing about it, I just want to know.
Okay, but she's talking about the community colleges are making calls, saying that you have to have CDAs to be on this program.
That's right.
Because we got the call.
Yeah.
That's what the community colleges are doing.
Or the child care, or you have to have a child care degree in order to receive funds from
Well, yeah, that's the call they're making.
Southwest Community College.
Yeah, the colleges are calling telling us that, so since we don't have to have that, y'all need to write that down. That's on the top of the list.
Is that something that's in the future that we have to have in order to receive funds from this program?
That was one of the things that was a recommendation that's over in the back of the unified plan. It was not implemented. The two types of centers are the standard and the comprehensive, and that is not a requirement for either one of those. Like I said, it was a recommendation. Do we know who called? You said it was Southwest Community. Southwest.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Southwest Community College, the one that called, that came by me, her name is Kim, I think. She is in the child care department at Southwest Junior College. So I'm gonna tell you that. And my name is Tamara Williams. She came to the center with that. She was going around from center to center in Pike County. Okay, so I'm telling you that one now. She did that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get that. We'll get that straight.
All right, one more. Then I'm gonna pass it over to Carol.
If you will go online and look at those requirements, it's 2 blocks in that standard. In that unified plan. There's 2 blocks on page 7. Those are the requirements for the standard center and for the comprehensive center.
Okay.
It's not those requirements.
Okay, one more, I'm pass the mic.
If anybody calls you and tells you that there's anything that you're required to do other than what's on there, then that is not correct. Y'all y'all need to let us know.
All right, one more. We know that everybody know in child care that our parents, that the communication skills are not great between us and the parent and you guys and the parent. You know, so by this redetermination process, the communication skill is just out of whack. Okay? Meaning that if y'all will contact the providers and let us know before this 15-day process, or 10 days, or 1 day before they get cut off the program, that this parent needs to get contact with y'all, or we need to make sure they get this paperwork in or this paperwork in, so we can make sure that they get that in for our benefit and theirs also. Then we'll keep some of these people on our program. Because I lost two parents because of they didn't have no cell phones, so you couldn't email them. Okay, so they don't keep the cell phones all the time on. They don't keep the same email that they don't start out with. You know what I'm saying? They change. We got those type of parents on our program. Okay? So they don't keep that up like that. So I lost 2 parents due to that, and when I found out about it, I got a letter from this man's name. I wrote it down, but I can't call his name now, but I got it from him asking me their name, asking me do I have an update phone number for them. I asked them, well, I'm going to give you what I have. Oh yeah, that's a different number. I said, what's going on? Well, you know, I'm trying to get in contact with them because they got, I think it was 5 days or something like that before their certificate's going to go out for redetermination. I said, well, why don't you just call me? He said, we just got ourselves together. They just hired us in this committee. So they wasn't together themselves. So they get themselves together. While they get themselves together, they losing our people. See what I'm saying? So I'm just asking.
I'm puzzled about that because we don't have any men in the calls in our calls.
Yes, you got a man in the call center.
No, ma'am.
So I tell you what, when I get back, I'm gonna call somebody and give you that man number because I got it.
Okay, yeah, do that. Because I'm puzzled about that.
Yes, a man.
There's a letter. I think there's a letter that goes out to the provider to tell y'all that this person redetermination is due.
And yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am. But you know, ultimately, we hold the parent responsible for getting that information.
Well, that's good, and then all parents are not responsible. But they still need child care. Just because they're not responsible, that does not mean they don't need no child care.
They are responsible.
Okay, yeah, but still, we've been long enough. We have to bag them up no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I'm that type of provider. I bag mine up. I stay behind mine.
Okay, but the provider should be receiving a letter saying that that they're being redetermined.
We have 5 minutes left. We have one question here, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. Well, my question is, just say last month or 2, I lost like $6,000. Is there a way that you all could make it where the money would stay in our centers if we lose children and, replace them with somebody else? With your, sending in the information you approve?
No, ma'am. The money follows the child.
I just want to say one thing. I would just be glad to. I'm for the children academics. I'm for strong academics. Health and safety and everything I need to do. But how you gonna have a children's academy when we can't get none? We don't have no certificates. So I'm just saying, I'd be glad when it's ready to serve more children. You all be able to serve more children, so we can bring these kids in. Cultivate them. I just be glad when the day comes. It's been a long time, and it made a big impact. It's just almost these 3 years has been just a lot.
All right, we are going to wrap it up. We have, I want to make sure that everybody here signed in when you came in. We're going to continue to stay in touch with you. If you have questions that were not answered today, please let us know. You can reach us at info@mschildcare.org, and we can help get your questions answered. I want to thank DHS for being here. For any of you who may not know, Kathy Sykes retires tomorrow.